Hello there everyone and welcome to the finals of the Southeast Asia Legends Cup number 9, hosted by myself, Spellruler, and hosted by ESL, of course. So this is Staz versus Chalk. This is a best of 5, Warlock versus Warlock matchup for game 1. Chalk's other classes include Hunter and Warrior, and Staz other classes include Warrior and Druid. So expect to see a lot of action coming back and forth. So not Chalk with his turn. Let's see. Oh, I actually see a new card there. Mal'Ganis, your other demons have +2/+2 and your hero is immune. Quite an interesting card there. Haven't seen it played at all recently, so we're gonna see how that one turns out for him. The other cards, a Void Caller, a second Knife Juggler, the coin, another Knife Juggler, and the Imp Gang boss. So Knife Jugglers, plenty of those in this game. Now all we need is a mage with an Echo of Medivh. But Chalk instead decided to go for the Imp Gang boss, because chances are high that a dagger will land in the Imp Gang boss, and he'll get a little bit of benefit from that one as well. Now Staz, sitting at 3 mana, can bust out a Void Walker and tap, but he could also just go for his own Imp Gang boss, attack the Void Walker, and pass turn. Not too sure what would be the most beneficial. Void Terror actually quite interesting. Battle Cry, destroy the minions. Either side of this minion gain their attack and health, so you can get a pretty strong minion for that one. So the Knife Juggler actually attacking into the Void Walker. So and Staz looks like he is gonna drop the Haunted Creeper, hoping that the dagger will land in Chalk rather than the Imp Gang boss, but does end up finding its way into the Imp Gang boss. Void Walker for second dagger, and it's gonna lodge itself into Chalk instead of the little Imp. So now back to Chalk, who's sitting on double Knife Juggler. Can't really do too much with both of them, so he's probably just gonna summon one and attack with the Imp Gang boss and attack with the Imp to get rid of the Taunter. One Imp spawning, dagger is landing into the Void Walker, so Chalk actually pretty lucky there. Could use his last Imp to get rid of the Knife Juggler, so no more Knife Jugglers for Staz. He might have one in his deck still, but not in his hand. You know, Chalk still has a second Knife Juggler out. So now looking at what Chalk is gonna do, probably bring out the second Knife Juggler and bring out the Haunted Creeper. Or the Void Caller, Death Rattle, put a random demon from your hand into the battlefield, but that leaves this Knife Juggler a little bit susceptible to getting killed, but is actually gonna do that one. And actually this might be a really good play as well, because once the Void Caller dies, Mal'Ganis will drop onto the field, and Chalk will then become immune. So immune characters can't be damaged. I'm not too sure how it interacts with Life Tap. I would guess that he doesn't take the damage from Life Tap because it explicitly states damage. So now all that Chalk has to do is entice Staz into killing his Void Caller, or get it killed by his own means, which shouldn't be too hard. And hope that he doesn't pull a demon. Another Imp gonna spawn from the Imp Gang boss. And another Imp spawning, so Imps galore everywhere. Now Chalk probably gonna drop that Knife Juggler for his own turn, along with potentially an Nerubian Egg or a Haunted Creeper, unless he wants to tap and draw one. So Void Terror actually gonna be used. So good play there. That 4/4 Nerubian is gonna spawn. But now Chalk can actually get rid of that Nerubian with his Void Caller, and attack with the Imp. But it's actually going to leave the Nerubian alive for now. Knife Juggler going to be dropped. Excuse me. Now Haunted Creeper doing the field as well. Dagger landing into an Imp, and it looks like Chalk is like trying to like maybe hide the fact that he has a Mal'Ganis in his hand, because he's doing an awful good job of trying to defend that Void Caller from dying. so not too sure what he is going to do with the rest of his moves there, but can't really do too much. But yeah, as I said, Chalk is doing like an awfully good job of trying to protect his Void Caller from dying, like, despite having a Morganus. And I think he just wants to clear the board as much as possible because it is only a 7 health card. So I guess that's like Chalk's thought process. He wants an empty, or like a relatively empty field before he kills that Void Caller, so his Morganus doesn't die too fast. Iron Beak Alna coming in. That's actually a pretty good counter to the Morganus, because Chalk will no longer be immune if it's silenced, of course. So Staz has to make a conscious choice whether he wants to tap yes or no. Silencing the Void Caller would be pretty big as well, but I feel that Staz might be more enticed to silence the Haunted Creeper, or even silence the Void Walker. Like, either of the two would be my guess. Because I don't think he's gonna play the Doomsayer, because like he has a lot of cards. He has 2 cards in his hand which he would prefer to play, so he's gonna tap instead. Haunted Creeper, Iron Beak Owl up, and Iron Beak Owl Battle Cry is gonna silence that Void Caller. Already expected it. Nerubian gonna take care of that Void Walker, and no more Knife Juggler for Chalk as well. And now Staz is in the lead here as far as the minions go. Now Chalk with his own Doom Guard can't play it just now, has to tap and play in Nerubian unless his tap provides something fruitful here. So tap, giving an abusive Sergeant, not really doing too much. Nerubian Egg going to be played here. The abusive Sergeant will be helpful for the next turn, though. It looks like Chalk is just trying to trade for now. 2 more spiders being spawned by Chalk, so pretty much still anyone's game here. I feel that Morganus might be a game changer like later on when Chalk wants to dig a little bit deeper in his deck, because he doesn't take damage from drawing. If he does have that Morganus out on the field. Argon Squire now being dropped. Lofeb a little bit prematurely. Chalk didn't have anything out on the field, or anything in his hand, excuse me, to actually benefit off that. Staz just decided to tap, go for the damage here, and another Imp Gang boss for Chalk, the second one for him, the first one having already died. So looks like both of these players have like a relatively similar deck, which is like why I feel they're playing a little bit slower. Like they're just kind of feeling each other out. Like no crazy or risky moves. Like if Staz would have attacked the Void Caller, then he would have known the Morganus tech choice by Chalk. So sitting at 7 mana, I still say that Doomsayer is not really a good choice for now. You want to get rid of something else, but Imp Gang boss and a Void Terror now out on the field. The Void Terror might be useful to help in killing that Nerubian Egg, but Chalk says to do a little bit differently, spawning the Nerubian like this. Now back to Staz, who has run Implosion. It's probably going to chuck it onto that Nerubian, see how much damage he can actually get off from it. Because if he does get the 3 damage or the 4 damage, then he is good, because he could just use his Haunted Creeper to take care of the Nerubian. Gets only the 2 damage though, unfortunately, so now has to play that Defender of Argus to taunt up his Haunted Creeper, so he can actually kill it. And decides to not taunt up the Lofeb, decides to keep that one safe for now. Now back to Chalk, who has drawn into his own Haunted Creeper. This game has been a surprisingly slow pace for a Warlock game, like both players playing Warlock. I guess it's mostly because both players have similar build-ups and like similar amounts of like killing each other's minions off. Like there are small tech choices here and there. I can see that, but because I haven't seen Void Terror being played a lot in Warlock decks. So it has popped out every now and again, but it's definitely not a super staple card, despite it actually being a really good card in combination with Nerubian Egg. So props to Chalk for using that combo efficiently. But Chalk is thinking, like, do I want to sacrifice my minions to get a super buffed one? So Void Terror now coming across, and I'm just taking a quick look at the damage Staz has right now. So he has 10 on the field plus 5 in plus quick 5 in hand to do 15 damage. But then does Staz have any way to finish it off? I don't think so. So he has to sacrifice the Loatheb and pretty much has to trade like this. Trades as efficiently as possible, maintaining his minions.
The light protects me.
And now Chalk is not in that good of a spot because all he has is the Mal'Ganis, and I mean, yes, his hero becomes immune, but that Dark Iron Dwarf is gonna help out that Doomguard so much.
Well played.
So the well played's already come out. Chalk dropping the Mal'Ganis. But even the Abusive Sergeant to add insult to injury. Life tap gonna come across. Power Overwhelming as well, and Staz pretty much has this in the bag. All he has to do is buff up the Doomguard, and then he has let's take a quick look here. And he has 8 damage plus the 4 from Power Overwhelming for 12 plus the 2 for Dark from the Abusive Sergeant. But it's actually going to do it a little bit differently, but regardless, end results remain the same. Staz will win game 1 of this best of 5.
versus Rexar.
Let the hunt begin. Victory or death!
So hello everyone and welcome back. This is game 2 between Staz and Chalk. Looks like this is going to be a warrior versus hunter match. Staz already being 1 game up in this best of 5 here. Also hi to you all in Twitch chat, as some of you have doubted my existence, I guess. But anyways, you'll probably hear this later because it's 10 minutes later. But Staz with Alex Strasza, Cruel Taskmaster, Armorsmith, Coin, Baron-Geddon, Acolyte of Pain, and Death's Bite. And Chalk with Unleash the Hound, Sludge Belcher, Mad Scientist, and a Haunted Creeper. Already has his Eaglehorn Bow out.
Speak to me.
So Staz not with the best hand, I would say. I mean, I guess he has like a decent opening in the form of the Acolyte of Pain, which is gonna die to Eaglehorn Bow. Mad Scientist is being dropped, so Chalk actually sacrificing a lot here by destroying his weapon, but I guess he didn't have a secret to play relatively fast, so he just wanted to get rid of the Acolyte, make sure it didn't get too many more cards than necessary, and Staz can now slowly start to build up a little bit of momentum here. Secret being placed there in Chalk's field. Snake Trap. Whenever one of your minions is attacked, summon 3 1/1 snakes. So back to Staz. Chalk putting out that Sludge Belcher, as it was pretty much the only play he could have made until at Savannah High Main is live now. Staz has to find a way to get rid of that Sludge Belcher, and one way I guess that he could do it is Cruel Taskmaster his Armorsmith to get some armor, or he could just and then use the Shield Stun, but it's actually going to replace his weapon with the Death's Bite. Secret is going to trigger Snake Trap, and that is going to be a little bit beneficial for Chalk, not too much since he doesn't have like a Leok or anything like it to benefit off of that. Cruel Taskmaster will get rid of that Sludge Belcher, but unless Chalk draws into something called Buff Everything, which I kind of doubt, then Staz is actually in a pretty good spot here because he'll be able to wipe out everything on the field with a well-timed Death's Bite attack. When its Death Rattle effect will trigger, Staz attacking just to get a little bit of armor. Web Spinner now being drawn. But again, I feel that Chalk is not in the best of positions against a warrior. Animal Companion gets pulled, and it is a Huffer. So Web Spinner also being summoned, and I don't know, Chalk is like seemingly ditching a whole lot, but I don't think he's getting too much out of it. Like, Chalk can do as much damage as he wants, but I think that Staz is in a pretty okay spot here if he makes it a couple more turns, because he does have that armor. I guess that he'll take a little bit of damage from everything out on the field, which is going to be, it's going to be like 9 in total. That's going to drop him to 13. And a little bit less if he actually attacks into the Huffer with the Death's Bite to actually properly get rid of everything, if he gets rid of the slime first. But now Staz doesn't even have to worry about the Huffer. He can just straight up attack into the little slime and like get everything killed. Chalk seemingly knowing what he's doing though, And now with that Sludge Belcher, it's going to be hard for Chalk to get over. It does have a Dr. Boom to put a little bit of pressure out, but I'm kind of doubting Chalk's position and playstyle here just a little bit.
What now?
Like, I'm not really sure what's going through his mind right now. But yeah, back to Staz, who has a Death Spite, has a Sludge Belcher. Realistically, I feel the only play he could make was maybe Sludge Belcher, but actually it does it a little bit differently. First decides to Shield Slam the Spider so he gets rid of everything on the field. So well played there by Staz. Everything will fall down. The Beast card added is gonna be a Hungry Crab, destroy a Murloc and gain +2/+2. Quick shot added to Chalk's hand here. Now Staz top decking into a big game Hunter. Probably could not be happier about that. Sniping down that Dr. Boom. And then with 4 mana left, Deathbite equip seems realistic at this point. But he could just hold off on attacking, and is he actually going to equip the Deathbite over sniping down Dr. Boom? I'm not too sure what Staz's thought process is like, because if I were Staz, I'd probably just drop that big game Hunter instantly and just armored up or like equip my weapon and call it a day. But I think that he might want to equip the Death Spite first for some reason.
I got the beast in my sight.
Oh. He did eventually do the same play. It didn't really matter a whole bunch. So now Chalk with his own Sludge Belcher. Boombot's gonna be taking care of that big game Hunter. Now Savannah High Main also out on the field. Staz still in this, and now with the Brawl, definitely helpful as well. So Baron Geddon actually quite well for taking care of that Savannah High Main once it actually is destroyed, because the Hyenas, it will leave our 2/2 minions. So Baron Geddon's passive will take care of that one without too much issues. And now it doesn't really matter what Chalk wants to drop at this point, because if he plays a minion, then if he plays a minion and decides not to attack with Savannah, then Staz will be able to get rid of it regardless, because it wasn't too healthy to begin with. But now Chalk is considering suiciding his Boombot onto that one. And his minion actually still standing. Pilot Shredder now coming out. And steady shot to add to that one as well. And now Staz just pretty much needs to survive at this point. Baron Geddon a little bit risky, but has the Alexstrasza for backup to burn himself back to a high health value. So one thing that he can do is just attack into the Pilot Shredder and play the Baron Geddon, and it would leave you at 7 health. It's a little bit of a risky play, but it might pay off. And then if you survive the turn to play Alexstrasza, because you don't have too many options, I guess.
What now?
I think that Staz might also be considering the Brawl at this point, and to maybe Cruel Taskmaster on whatever drops out. Looks like Staz is gonna go for the Baron Geddon play, only sitting at 9 health after its passive will trigger. Now the question is, Chalk, amazingly enough, gets a Murloc, a Puddle Stomper. The Hungry Crab might be able to help out, but is it gonna be enough? Sludge Belcher gonna come across, be dropped on the field. Steady shot for 3 damage, and the Murloc gonna do another 3 damage. But Staz has Alexstrasza in his hand to burn himself back to 15 health. And now with the Sludge Belcher coming in as well. Oh, the Freezing Trap will punch back that Baron, get it back on the field, and now I think Staz has no choice but to play the Alexstrasza. One damage land onto every minion. Alexstrasza dropped on the field. Staz still standing with 15 health, and now Chalk doesn't have too much. Hungry Crab to destroy the Murloc and gain +2/+2. Can't really say that I've seen today where Hungry Crab and Puddle Stomper are both two random minions that are dropped when playing as Warrior. Chalk just is going on the aggressive here, wants to finish this off as quick as possible. Is Staz actually going to attempt to play the Baron Geddon again? It is a risk, because if he does play it, he'll get dropped to 5 health regardless, because Steady Shot will do 2 and Unleash the Hounds will do another 2. But is actually going to play it super safe. Does not want to use the Baron Geddon. Sludge Belcher now coming across. And now Chalk, what is his top deck going to be? Quick Shot not going to be helpful at all for now. Knife Juggler is the card, and now Chalk pretty much has to play Knife Juggler into Unleash the Hounds and get rid of that Sludge Belcher. First dagger is going to be chucked into Staz. Second dagger is going to land in Alexstrasza. Third dagger is going to land into the Cruel Taskmaster. Nothing dying, nothing of value was lost. Sludge Belcher still standing. And Chalk actually getting a King Mukla from that one. Battle Cry, give your opponent 2 bananas. And Chalk's like, what did I do to deserve this? I don't know if that King Mukla is going to be helpful, but does decide to play it, giving 2 bananas to Staz just to get an extra dagger out, but again, not really the results he's been looking for. Another dagger chucked across. Chalk is getting a little bit desperate at this point. One hound dying, second hound dying, third hound dying. But Staz is now probably just gonna taunt up or buff up that slime with the bananas. I wouldn't blame him at all for doing that. Killing off King Mukla as well with the Alexstrasza. And now it all comes to top decks if Chalk still wants to win this. A kill command would help out tremendously. But Chalk still takes his time. Hungry Crab does count as a beast. Is that a kill command? No, it is the Black Knight. So Chalk does not have a game win just yet. He is so close, but he can just barely get over it. Quick Shot to take care of Alexstrasza. He's going to take, or doesn't take the Alexstrasza down. Actually pulls a kill command. Steady Shot will land. The kill command is not enough, and Chalk is looking at the 7 health of Staz and thinks, I haven't gotten it yet, I haven't finished it off yet, and Alexstrasza is still on the board here. Not anymore, because he's trading that one off. Now Staz has a Gromash Hellscream out, and Staz can just trade off the Sylvanas Windrunner for the Black Knight, bring out the Dr. Boom. And I don't think that there is a way that Chalk can come back from this unless he top decks a second kill command and can't survive long enough. Lofeb now being dropped here, but Staz is just happily going to trade off his Sylvanas with that Lofeb. Lofeb will fall pretty shortly. Harrison Jones now coming across as well, but Staz just wants to armor up and survive this as long as possible. Chalk is desperately digging through his deck. Is there anything I can do to win? Anything that will do 4 damage to Staz so that I can finish it off with kill command. Staz is taking his time and thinking about what Chalk might have in hand, how he is going to play this one out. Let's take a quick look at his deck. Has 11 cards in his deck, so as long as he has like strong minions out on the field, then he's in a pretty good spot here. He just has to not play that Baron Geddon So as expected, trades off the Sylvanas, will do some damage with the boombots, and is probably going to bring out the Harrison Jones as well at some point, but it goes for Gramash instead, and now Chalk admitting defeat with the well played. The last card, a Defender of Argus. And I don't think that is going to help him even in the slightest. It is going to fall next turn to Gramash. Staz already extending his well played. Steady shot dropping, and Chalk bring out the kill command as well, and is actually gonna target Gramash as a small pity attack, saying, look, I was so close, but I couldn't do it. Chalk will lose, and Staz will be 2-0 ahead in this best of 5 series. So congratulations to Staz. Only needs one more game to win it all. We'll bring you that one shortly. We'll be right back with some more Hearthstone action.
Malfurion versus Garrosh.
Victory or death! I must protect the wild. Job's done.
Welcome back, everyone. This is game 3 in this best of 5 series between Staz and Chalk. So Staz only needing one game to win it all. Chalk needs to win 3 games in a row. Starts off with a Wild Growth. So Chalk with a Fiery War Axe. Let's take a quick look at his hand. Doesn't have too much. Has to wait until the next turn until he can bring that Pilot Shredder out. Staz doesn't really have too much of his own as well. Chalk now finally with an Armor Smith, but is going to drop that Pilot Shredder, of course, to get a little bit more pressure out, as it is a little bit stronger. But Staz, he can't just silence it. I'm not too sure if he would want to silence it or just expend a swipe on it, to be quite honest. Or he could just reply with his own Pilot Shredder. So now back to Chalk, who has double execute. Now Chalk not really running really into the cards he needs. He's already dropped 25 hit points, and now Staz actually has a Mad Scientist out. So I doubt Staz is playing anything here. So Chalk equipping his weapon. So Staz now with the Druid of the Flame. I have not seen Druid of the Flame see a lot of play for some reason, because the 5-2 isn't really that great. 2-5 is okay, but you need something to actually like back it up with, because like a 2-5 for 3 mana, I guess it's an okay cost. But so Nerubian Egg gets dropped by the Pilot Shredder, and now Chalk is wondering whether he should take the risk, because if he does, there is a chance that that Armor Smith might be taken over, or that the Nerubian Egg is taken over. And I guess he would much rather see his Nerubian Egg being stolen away than his Armor Smith, because it has been benefiting. It has been benefiting him a lot, and I guess the Druid would have a better use of that Armor Smith, because they do have like Druid of the Claw and like other taunters. But is actually gonna pass over the Nerubian Egg. And Chalk was thinking about giving him that Bomb Lobber present before killing off the egg, but fortunately decided, hey, I should probably kill the egg first. So now back to Staz, who's sitting at 7 mana. Chalk, again, Chalk does not have too much in his hand to work with. Staz with an Ancient of Lore here in his hand, that's probably going to be his next play. Or he could just bring out that Druid of the Flame. But again, having a 2/5 out on the field, not too great, especially since it can't kill the Bomb Lobber. So it's going to go for the Ancient of Lore instead. Draws a Wrath Lord and a Zombie Chow. Zombie Chow a little bit too late, I feel, for him to make great use out of it. But regardless. So Cruel Taskmaster for into the Execute, the likely play coming in from Chalk. It's actually gonna do the Big Game Hunter strat instead. So leaves his Executes up for now. Another Druid of the Flame for Staz. So he's been really racking up on those now. One thing that Staz can do is swipe the Bomb Lobber, use the Wrath on the Big Game Hunter to draw 1 card, but instead decides to go a little bit of a different route. Uses the 3 damage one to actually do the full damage onto the Bomb Lobber. And playing the Druid of the Flame is now a little bit more useful because the only minions remaining out on the field are like 2 health minions, so Chalk now has to find a way to get rid of that one, but that's not too hard considering he has a Defender of Argus in his hand.
My shield for Argus!
So, 1 Druid of the Flame will fall, the second one will more than likely survive, but because I don't think that Chalk will use his weapon on it. But here's the interesting thing now. If Chalk actually does decide to attack with his Cruel Taskmaster, and Staz has a clear field of swiping away everything, and Chalk actually did expend his last weapon stack on it, so armor's up, but Staz is now clear to swipe away. And I think he might want to play that Kazan Mystic, because Chalk is not going to run any secrets. So Kazan Mystic probably his best play right now, because it is a 4/3.
The light does not discriminate.
Zombie Chow getting come across as well, and Staz in a really good spot right now. Chalk more than likely to play the Sludge Belcher at this point, but looks like he wants to get out the shield main to get some extra armor, which makes sense considering that if you think about it, Chalk didn't pull any shield slams just yet. So armor's up some more. And Staz can afford to just shapeshift and expend his Kazan Mystic to take out the Shield Maiden. He's actually going to keep his Zombie Chow still staying, and Chalk is just hitting himself in the head with these Execute cards, thinking I don't have any use for this as of now. Acolyte of Pain to be drawn, and Chalk has the mana to play both. But then again, Keeper of the Grove is still a card. Staz still holding on to that one, so silencing the Sludge Belcher and then attacking the Acolyte. But Staz actually doing it a little bit differently, deciding to get rid of the Acolyte of Pain passive, because he has an inkling that Chalk doesn't have anything in hand, and that inkling was indeed correct. Because, I mean, you can technically also count the cards that are still remaining in Hearthstone, or like in your opponent's deck. Like, you can figure out the basics of what they might be playing, like what kind of staples. So like Sludge Belcher, Acolytes, Executes, etc, etc. Staz getting rid of Chalk's entire board, and now Chalk with an unstable Ghoul. All he can really do is execute the Sludge Belcher or play the unstable Ghoul, but again, not gonna matter too much. And it looks like Staz is gonna head up for a 3-0 sweep unless Chalk manages to pull something of significance here.
I wonder.
But even if Chalk does manage to pull anything useful, then the low feb is gonna stop Chalk in his tracks by a little bit at the very least. And Chalk thinking his turn over, but
What now?
his opening hand wasn't too great with early executes. Didn't really get too much, so it looks like he is gonna execute the Sludge Belcher to at least mitigate the damage he'll be getting. But other than armoring up, there isn't really too much that he can do at this point.
What now?
Time is expiring, and what is Staz gonna pull out from his deck? And looking at the card advantage as well, technically if at the next draw it's gonna be Staz with 6 cards versus the 2 cards of Chalk. Emperor Forasan also gonna come out. Shapeshift for the 1 damage. It is gonna do a little bit of damage to everything. But Staz does not care. Emperor Forasan gonna be dropped. Lofeb is gonna be saved, I would assume, or unless Staz does want to play that one out. So it is gonna be an Emperor Forasan coming out. And having a 4 mana cost Lofeb, 2 mana cost Big Game Hunter, definitely beneficial. Death's Bite being pulled, again not being too helpful as of now. And I'm kind of wondering, is there anything that Chalk can do at this point? I mean, I guess he could try and top deck a Brawl, but Staz still has minions in his hand, and I don't really see him expend the Lofeb and the Big Game Hunter anytime soon. I think he's just satisfied with having his board as it is right now.
What now?
So, I mean, I guess I could keep on rambling on what Chalk can do, but he's just letting the timer run out as he's racking his brain for answers, as I am thinking about what Chalk might do. If he's gonna equip the weapon, then it just shows what he has drawn. Because it's obviously that Chalk has like 1 card he can't use, and if he equips the weapon, then he shows like, okay, I still have 1 card I can't use, otherwise I would have played it. Staz just extending his greeting. Pilot Shredder now being pulled by him, and I don't think that Chalk is gonna win this. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and say Chalk has lost this, unless Chalk can like pull off our Hearthstone miracle. I want to believe in it, but if Staz top decks the Savage Roar, then it is gonna be all over. Chalk's next card, timer is running out. Cruel Taskmaster is gonna be it, but the rope has already expended and is gonna rope again if Chalk doesn't do anything. He's just gonna sit there and take his loss. Sludge Belcher now coming in. Another 5, another 2, another 1, and another 6 damage landing. And Chalk has kind of lost the will to fight at this point. His deck disappointing him. Chalk apologizing about this game, and his Big Game Hunter now costing a whopping 0 mana. And Chalk, the last card he top decks, the Lofeb, doesn't really matter. I guess he could execute a couple of things. The 6 mana execute to take care of the Pilot Shredder. What does he get from it? Gets a Wraith from it, but Chalk choosing death, and that means that Staz will be the victor of the tournament. So, Staz